Why did you and your best friend become best friends? How is the friendship currently going? We became friends over my ex-boyfriend from high school. He had a crush on her while him and I were dating and tried to convince both of us the other hated the other. She texted me one day out of the blue to clear the air and asked to talk face to face. She offered to get me Chick-fil-A for lunch during school. She was a year older and had a car at the time so she could go off campus, and so I agreed and we talked it out. Discovered neither of us hated the other first and that D, my ex, had started it all to keep us from talking to each other. To this day we have no idea what the purpose behind that was, but we're both very thankful he was such a drama queen because it resulted in a 10+ year friendship that we've leaned on through many dark times in our lives. If soulmates exist, then she's mine. We met in high school nearly 10 years ago now. We are yin and yang. She is formal, quiet, sophisticated, and full of grace. Everyone loves her. I'm kooky, aloof, don't shut up, laugh louder than anyone I know, and can be a bit impulsive. Somehow we complement each other perfectly. When she's too shy or is struggling with her confidence, I boost her and encourage her to do things she never thought she could do. When I'm getting too loud or I'm struggling with my repressed emotions that get me doing stupid things and getting me into trouble, she always keeps me grounded and knows just how to talk me through things. We drifted a bit for a couple of years recently, due to being different universities, but things are finally getting back to how they were. I'll protect her till my last breath. She's my sister. When she can't stand up for herself, I'm right there in front of her taking the punch, literally. And when I'm sad, drunk and crying, my brain in a panic, she'll always know how to get my head back to calm. I love her. She's proof that not all family is blood. Met her at the bus stop before the first day of kindergarten. Been friends ever since, and I'm 33 now. We rarely see each other that often or talk often, but we're still friends. We were waiting for our parents in the rain after school. I asked if she liked music. She said yeah. I asked if she wanted to listen to some silly early 2000s YouTube remixes. She said sure, and we hid under the awning in front of the school and listened to music. We were best friends since. She passed away last month from a pulmonary embolism at the age of 24. It was very sudden. I miss her. So sorry to hear that. I was doing first year uni, and in my statistics class we had to pass our papers to the person behind you to grade. She got 9 out of 10, I got 7. She was beautifully put together, makeup, nice clothes at 8 in the morning. I was still wearing my PJs and thought she was the most stuck-up brat ever. We then talked through our group friends. 19 years and she and I are so close, people think we're together if we go out. Finish each other's sentences type close. She's been with me through so much stuff and I've been there for her. She lived overseas for a few years, and when I went over to see her we both broke down at the train station bawling our eyes out. She's back now and I see her every week minimum. Don't know what I'd do without her. There were several moments when I realized he's my best mate. I'll try to keep them brief. One was always there for my, at the time, long-term girlfriend, wouldn't think twice to step up and help her out when needed, never expected anything in return, and generally cared about her at least as much as I did. This wasn't just one moment, but I noticed it all the time and it was a wholesome feeling. 2. When said relationship ended because she cheated on me, put me in his car and drove to his vacation home and was just there for me, as I was a mess. 3. I like working on bikes. I like buying piece of crud bikes. One day some friends were coming over to my place for a barbecue at 1900 hours. I was viewing a bike at 1700 hours. Deal was, if I could get it running, I could buy it for $100 and I would ride it home. Phone died while I was on the bus home and I forgot to tell my friends I would be home at 2000 hours. Friends showed up but went home, all but him. He got in the car, picked up a cold six-pack of beer and drove to the town he knew I was viewing the bike in. He knows I don't like riding on highways, so from there he backtracked the route he'd take I would ride, which was in fact the route I wanted to take, and went looking for me. He figured I bought a piece of crud bike, again, broke down, and my phone died. When I called him when I got him, he got on the highway and we had a barbecue. I've started seeing a new girl recently, I really like her. Introduced him to her a week ago, was a little nervous about it but they clicked straight away and I know he's going to be awesome to her, smiley face. She walked up to me and introduced herself just as I was about to have an anxiety attack at freshman orientation, officially the first person I met at college almost 10 years ago. We lived together for 3 years during college and managed to love each other more at the end than when we started. We currently live about 700 miles away from each other and live busy lives, so we don't talk often, but we keep each other updated and she will always be my fudging girl and I will always love her just as much as I did the day she moved back home. We've definitely had very rocky points over the years but ultimately we're both pretty quick to get over things, and I think we value our relationship more than disagreements or spats. We met at a barn in 6th grade. She was debating switching to my school, so we started talking. She ended up joining my family for dinner one day and my special needs sister stole her pancake right off her plate, and she was cool with it, and our friendship just blossomed from there. We've been best friends for a decade. She's the godmother to my son. I've been the closest thing she's had to a sibling. This past summer, she totally overstepped boundaries and long story short, resulted in my getting kicked out of my house for a time, and I snapped on her. We both apologized and set things as right as they can be, but since then we barely talked. I tried to hang out with her once and she just ignored me completely, and now she's a several-hour flight away for the semester and we're still not talking. It absolutely kills me. You wanna play? Here we are 35 years later. We met after I transferred to the local university as a junior and rushed a co-ed Greek organization that she was already a member and just hit it off. How are things going? It's 18 years later. Her 6-year-old daughter recently told her paternal grandma that she wants us to get married. We plan on making that wish come true. I can't remember how we became friends, it's been 14 years. We're both 25 now. What's happened in the meantime though has been something I'm not sure many people get to experience. It's been a wild 14 years. I can't type it all out, it would be its own novel. My life is, for better or for worse, stable. I live 800 miles away from where we grew up, but have an office job with regular hours and you can always hit me up by phone or text or Facebook or Instagram. My best friend's life is not so stable. Since we left high school, he's stayed in our hometown, aside from a 1-semester-long stint at a college a few states over, but has been chronically homeless, living in near-poverty conditions, without a stable phone plan or internet service. As a result, he'll go off the grid for months at a time, and when he's back and you're able to contact him, you don't know where he is. He could be living at the motel by the highway, living 45 minutes north with a friend's mom, or living an hour west in a rural farm town. The important thing is, though, when we talk or see each other in person, which could be as infrequent as once every few years, we jump right back into it like no time has passed at all. There's no awkwardness or discomfort, no matter how much our lives have changed since the last time. The last time we met in person was last December. He finally seems to have found some stability. I visited his apartment and met his girlfriend, and he's the manager at a local cafe. We kept in contact up until July, when I was back in town and we were supposed to meet again, but his phone got disconnected before then. I messaged his girlfriend and she said she hadn't heard from him and was getting worried. I'm not worried though. He'll be back. I'm sure of it. We met in 10th grade, at an alternative school. I was an outgoing, confident girl who didn't give a crap about anything or what anyone thought of me. I was there because I challenged authority a lot and questioned everything. She was quiet and there for anxiety issues. Our math teacher paired us up for class saying we'd be great friends. I was annoyed because I wanted to be paired with my friend, not this sheltered pain in the butt who never talked. I was kind of mean to her, but as we got to know each other from being forced to work together, we started to click. Ended being best friends and inseparable the rest of high school. I brought her out of her shell and she became more outgoing. She was a voice of reason who calmed me down. 22 years later she's still my best friend despite living in different states and living very different lifestyles. Our moms met in Lama's class when they were pregnant with us. We are only 16 days apart and aside from a stint in middle school where we didn't see each other, we've been best friends for almost 30 years. First one I was basically born next to. We didn't choose each other obviously, as our parents were just tight at the time, so I remember him more like the cousin I never had. I miss him. His mom and dad were very strict and as he got older they treated him more harshly. By the time we were 12ish he was nearly always either grounded, working through extended education/college enrollment, church, or extracurricular stuff like swim team, and I could only see him for an hour or so every couple weeks. Eventually we didn't even do that. Second guy lived across the street from me from when we were both 10 to 13. He kind of filled the gap, and we had a lot of hobbies in common, and we're both wimpy sheltered white kids, so we got close. First friendship I had where we were in tune enough to go long amounts of time without talking while we were hanging out, and it wasn't weird. We just didn't have to speak to enjoy each other's company. He moved to a different state, and then I did the same 6 months later. We kept in contact somewhat. Still play Minecraft together sometimes. Funnily enough, they were there for me when my ex-best friend wasn't. She was the person who told me what I was doing to myself wasn't okay, and told me how to get help. First person to actually be real with me instead of going "that sucks but I have it worse." She genuinely saved my life. And I saved hers. We build each other up instead of tearing each other down, and I'm really thankful to have her. She goes through literal hell every day but she's still the best friend I never knew I could have. Our friendship is going swell right now. Smiley face. I sorta knew him online. I idly mentioned I'd have a couple hours layover at his local airport, and he unexpectedly said great. I'll be there. I had no idea what to expect when I got off the plane, but a scruffy looking dude walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Chris, I'm gonna be your best friend." We've been best friends for more than 20 years. We became friends, 6 years ago, because of Minecraft. Met on a random server, he accidentally messaged me instead of someone else and we started talking. We never had any bad days, never fought, never were really mad at each other. It's been 6 beautiful years and it's going even better lately. Only downside is that it's long distance friendship. But oh well. Not everything can be perfect, I'm just thankful I met him and that we are there for each other all the time. I can do this. Seriously, I'm got this. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that you have a great day today. Please let your best friend know that you love them today, and remember to like and subscribe if you wish.